You said something is wrong with brothers who don't know how to support a sister.
Yeah. Full stop.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Back again for another one. Let's get down to it. Jamal Bryant, man, he tripping. But he's been tripping for a long time. Check it out here.
You said something is wrong with brothers who don't know how to support a sister.
Yeah. Full stop.
And Mordecai was man enough to know that in order for me to be a man, I got to know how to support a woman. Something is wrong with brothers who don't know how to support a sister. It was a sister that raised you. It was a sister that taught you how to read. It was a sister that taught you how to bathe yourself.
In the context of the vice president, were you trying to send a message?
We've got to be able to vote that misogyny is still real in our community. We've got to address it head on and not act like it doesn't exist.
This is why I don't agree with him. Black people, for one, we're not a monolith. We are not a monolith. We don't all think the same way. So for him to make that comment to me as a pastor is irresponsible, it's reckless, and it's divisive. You may say, well, why is that divisive? We need to get behind our own. Whoop, whoop, woo. Well, hold on. I'll tell you why. For him to say that the reason why black men are not voting for her is because of misogyny. That we need to deal with our own misogyny in our community does not speak to every black man. So to me, that's divisive. Coming from a man who's been married to the same woman, to the same black woman, by the way, 25 years. 25 years, and I love her and I'm not looking for no other. I love my wife and she says things that I'm like, you know what? That makes sense. Yo, you know what? I'm going to follow you on that because that makes sense. I love my wife 25 years. So that doesn't speak to me, and that doesn't speak to other black men who are not misogynist. So what do we say about that? Well, I'll say this. I noticed something very strange that happens when you do, in this day and time, when you don't do what the left-wing media says to do. Right now, the left, meaning the hard left, or the hard left-wing media is saying that, you know what, if you're not for trans, if you're not for LGBTQ, you're transphobic, you're homophobic. And now the new one is, if you don't vote for Kamala Harris as a black man, you're misogynist. You're misogynist. And that's not true. So now it seems that the flavor of the day is when you don't agree with it, now you're afraid of it. So Jamal Bryant as a pastor, bro, you know that's not your call. There's nothing wrong with you voting for Kamala Harris. There's nothing wrong with you choosing to vote however you want to vote, or even encouraging maybe your followers to do their own research and look at it and be led by God. There's nothing wrong with that. But for you to take a position like that and to literally be divisive, I have a problem with that. I have a huge problem with that. We're not called to do that, bruh. We're not called for that. Some of y'all not gonna like this. Look, I understand. But if you're a Christian, this is something to me, to you, I will pay attention to. Because what's happening in the church right now is a church is becoming so political that we are making divides. We are literally losing sight of the one who brings us together versus the one who separates us. All the infighting over politics and who we're voting for, this contributes to that same issue. And that's coming from a nationwide known pastor. Listen, so you don't agree with me. That's fine. I've read all the comments. I might get it. Thick skin. Why? Because I know that I'm loved by God. And I know that I'm loved by my wife. And more importantly, and also I just don't really care like that. The enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. He's a great deceiver. And the enemy knows that we will vote based upon color. He knows that. And because he knows that, don't you think for 1 minute that he'll use that against you? That's the first thing that the Democrats ran on, was that she was black. You didn't hear her policies till later. Think about that. And there's a reason for that. Because the enemy, and when I say the enemy, I mean Satan, he knows that we will vote based upon skin color. I believe that there is a snare. There is a trap in that right there. And we have to be able to take that power back and say, you know what? I'm going to vote based upon what I think is most important. So versus getting upset at people that choose to vote not based on color, listen more. And if you don't agree to disagree. But when the media tells us to demonize one another for how we vote, we take that and we go with it. If we know we will vote based upon color, don't you think the enemy knows that too? And he's using that. And he's using that to not only to divide the church, but to divide our community as a whole. Maybe we're not the problem as men. Maybe we're setting a standard. Maybe us saying that we're not going to just continue to give the Democratic Party our vote is not a setback, but us pushing the needle forward, pushing the movement forward. But this has nothing to do with self-hate, and it has nothing to do with misogyny. And we have to embrace the diversity of thought within our community, because when these politicians and when these pastors, or these different pastors like him rather, that come out here and say this, what they're saying is that I don't think that you can think for yourself. I don't even respect your thinking as a black man. I don't think that you can do this by yourself. So let me tell you what your problem is. Brother, you're just a misogynist. You're just a homophobe. You're just a transphobe. And we just take it. And we just let them say these things to us. That's okay. But I'm here to say today that you're wrong. Some of us just vote based upon our own principles and what we believe in. If you're finding yourself fighting mad over another black man's decision on how he votes, man, you got to check your heart. Check your heart, man. Because as I always say, man, these candidates get 4 years. That's it. Some of us act like our hope is in a candidate. And the reason why that I say that is because when you hear Christians minimizing and demeaning each other for how we vote, that is indicative of a heart condition. That is indicative of where we place our hope. If I have to demean you as a Christian for how you vote, that shows that my heart is where I voted, and it's not in him. No matter how you vote, my brother, you still my brother. My sister, you still my sister. It shouldn't matter. We have to fight for unity in the body. My allegiance is to my faith above my race, period. Why? Because I'm not going to always be on this earth. So we got to get busy making disciples. We got to get busy sharing this gospel. And we need to have the same passion and the same drive about making disciples and about seeing people get to know Jesus Christ. We got to have that same passion out here. Love y'all. God bless y'all. Peace.